Hamburg Climate Week comes at a very sobering moment in the story of climate change, with new scientific evidence that the Arctic, which really moderates a great deal of our climate on its own, is actually melting away at increasingly rapid rates. In fact, there is a record melting in the Arctic being detected by scientists this year. It's absolutely clear that if we're going to tackle climate change, keep the world under a 2 degrees centigrade rise, that we need to have big cuts in carbon dioxide and the other leading greenhouse gas emissions. And there is an urgency in Qatar, in Doha, in only a few months' time, for nations to come together and move forward to delivering a new international agreement that will give us those big cuts. But you know, the urgency of climate change right now means we need literally all hands on deck, and there are other opportunities for quick wins in terms of climate change, but also in terms of human health and in terms of protecting our food supplies. This is what we call the so-called climate or short-lived climate pollutants. It's a range of pollutants from black carbon, what you and me call soot, which actually come from really millions of point sources, from brick kilns across the developing world, small little cook stoves, from diesel engines and heavy goods diesel engines, from shipping, and really multiple other sources. UNEP has worked on these short-lived climate pollutants for some time in terms of the science, and now that's been transformed into a political action, and this is called the Climate and Clean Air Coalition. It's got close to 30 members right now. Many countries have come on board, the United States, Canada, Mexico, Bangladesh, Nigeria, and so on. And now Germany is on board too, because they committed at the last G8 for all G8 nations to be part of this partnership. Black carbon is particularly significant for the Arctic. It is coming into the Arctic from many of these point sources and being pumped in directly from countries around the Arctic, from the burning of agricultural waste in Russia to heating systems in some of the Scandinavian countries. The analysis shows with fast action on these short-lived climate pollutants, which also include methane and include some of the replacement gases in refrigeration systems called HFCs, we could actually keep a temperature rise down by about 0.5 degree over the coming 10, 20, 30, 40 years. We could save at least 2.5 million lives who are actually killed by things like black carbon, and we could save also about 30 million tons of crops that are lost as a result of poisoning from some of these short-lived climate pollutants. So Hamburg Climate Week is not a week of despair. We know that we have the technologies, we know the costs can be low, and we know if we move quickly, we can actually save this precious planet from climate change. So let's get all hands on deck, let's work on CO2 in a legally binding new treaty, but let's deal with these short-lived climate pollutants too, as one way of some fast action that unites developed and developing nations in common cause. Thank you.